Okay, welcome back to 5 Minute Bible Study. We are still in the Beatitudes, but I feel that this one is not as much of a punch in the face. But as I was preparing for it, I thought, that sounds awful, a punch in the face. I'm telling people this is really hard. And I keep trying to think of a way to twist it and make it sound nicer. But that's the whole reason why I'm doing this for myself, is I don't want to twist things and make them nicer so that they're easier to accept. I just want to understand what the Bible's saying. So there are some high standards being laid out right now, and I can't twist it without changing it. So I'm just going to keep on trucking. So today is Matthew 6, 1-4. Be careful not to do your acts of righteousness before men to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward from your Father in heaven. So when you give to the needy, do not announce it with trumpets as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets to be honored by men. I tell you the truth, they have received the reward in full. But when you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. Okay, so this one's pretty clear. I'm just going to break it down into my own language. So I had written down to look out, watch out. It is very tempting to do good things and to do godly things just so that people see and think that you are some amazing, godly, kind, generous, whatever person. That is so easy. And I succumb to that very easily because I worry what people think about me. But he's saying, don't let that be your why. Don't let your why be that you're just trying to get everyone's praise and admiration and worship, because if that's your why, you'll get it. You'll get praise and adoration and worship from people who see you doing these good things, but you won't get anything from God. That's the extent of your reward. And God should really be your only why. Who cares if people see? They don't judge you at the end. They don't decide your fate. They don't bless you with all the blessings you have now. They don't give you breath. Forget what others think and see. When you are helping someone in need, just do it and be done. Don't tell the world or post on social media or drop it into conversation. Just do it because someone needs something. And God has put you there to help, to be his hands and his feet. All these bigwigs he's talking about, all these bigwigs, these spiritual gurus who lead you and claim to be so holy, they are ridiculously dramatic and showy. And they force people to notice their good deeds. They draw attention to it so that they get credit for it from people, because they want to be noticed. And noticed they are. People notice them. They accomplish that. But that's all. They're just noticed. But notice, or being noticed, that doesn't take you places in God's world. God isn't out for us to get noticed. That's not why he asks us to do things. And so if that's what we're seeking, we're not seeking anything that God wants. But when you give or when you help, you should do it discreetly. In fact, so discreetly that if I reached out to put money into a homeless man's cup on my right side, my left side doesn't even know I had money in my hand in the first place. Like, that's just how discreet it is. You're just going about life giving, not drawing any attention to it. So don't do anything for attention or praise. Do everything to show God's love. Then God will see, and that's all who matters. And he will reward you in heaven, which I also acknowledge and notice is a long time later. So it requires waiting and faith that you're going to get rewarded later by God. But if God's love isn't driving what we do, everything else is going to be exhausting. Because everything else is actually immediate gratification, and if you don't get it, then why keep going? I want people's praise now. I want them to see what I'm doing now. I want to be acknowledged and thought that I'm great now. Whereas if I know it's later and it's down the road and it's heaven, at whatever point that I see God, then it makes it easier to continue because you're not seeking immediate gratification. You're just doing what God asks. And I have a lot to learn in this category. To just love for the sake of God's love, not for any other gain.